LinkedIn ads bidding used to be really easy. You had two options. You could either bid by cost per click or cost per impression. You changed your bid, you could change your budget, and that was about it. Recently, they've given us all kinds of different options. We can optimize now to all sorts of different objectives, and each objective has an optimization type that carries with it the ability to bid by click, by impression, by video view, by form interaction, by engagement. So all of these things are now options, and so you're probably looking at this page when you go to create a new campaign going, what should I do? Well, let's talk through all the options here so you understand the best place to start. Now the next campaign that you go and create, when you scroll down to the bidding and budgeting section, you'll see that LinkedIn has automatically chosen for you auto bidding. So here's the rule that you need to remember. Anytime you see auto bidding, change it, get rid of it. Auto bidding is totally based off of machine learning, and when the machine hasn't learned yet, it has to keep bidding higher and higher to start getting you traffic. So if you leave auto bidding on, you're inevitably going to come back and tweet me and say, AJ, LinkedIn ads doesn't work. I just got charged $25 to $50 per click. So do yourself a favor, go in and make sure you change that. Never use auto bidding, at least until you already have a campaign that has some significant traction. So then the question becomes, do I bid by cost per click or by cost per impression? The best place to start if you are on a small budget is always start using cost per click and bid either the very minimum or close to it, maybe slightly above. And the reason why is because if you don't know how your audience is going to react, you want to keep the costs as low as possible. Now, if at very, very low bids, if you can still spend all of the budget that you want to every day, then that means that you just got the cheapest cost per click possible from LinkedIn, and you don't have to change a thing. But let's say you actually want to spend $50 a day, and at the lowest bids, you only spent $12, then you know you can go in and slightly raise your bid. Let's say you start at the floor of $4.75, raise it to $5 or $5.25. Give it a couple days and see where you actually end up spending. During this period, I recommend raising your budget high just so it's out of the way. Because if you hit your budget during the midday, it means you paid too much for your clicks along the way. Now, if you have high budgets, let's say you're spending $20,000, $30,000 or more per month, you can't really get by on minimum bids. You're going to have to raise that. So you might be bidding something like $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, $11, $12 a click, and that's okay. What you want to do is make sure that you're bidding high enough, you're filling your budget with traffic, because if you're bidding too high and you're hitting your budget, you're paying more for the clicks than you really should. Now, I started you on cost per click bidding because there's the least amount of risk possible. If you launch an ad that totally sucks, that no one wants to click on, then if you're bidding cost per click, there's no risk to you. You didn't pay anything. So it's a great place to start. If you were bidding by the impression, you'd be spending money along the way anyway, and you wouldn't have any traffic to show for it. Where cost per impression really makes sense, and LinkedIn calls it max CPM bidding, or cost per mil, if you didn't know. Your CPM bidding really starts to make sense when you have a really insanely high click-through rate on your campaign. So let's talk through that. I put these into three camps, and I'll show you the graphic here. If you have a less than about a 0.35%, less than about a third of a percent click-through rate on your campaign, you're performing under average and you need to change something. Pause immediately, go try different images, try different ad copy, see what you can do to make that perform better. If you're in that like 0.35 to 1% range, you're doing great, you're above average, but it's still not stellar, it could be better. If, on the other hand, if you launch something that's getting over a 1% click-through rate, I've seen as high as like 6.5%, then you know anything over 1% means you're performing well enough that bidding by the cost per impression rather than cost per click is actually going to let you pay less per click. So if you're doing cost per click, you might find that that floor is around $4.50 or $5.50. You can't bid any less than that. But if you're bidding by cost per impression and you have a 2% or a 3% click-through rate, your effective cost per click will probably be in like the $2 range, $3 range. So this is great for you if you have ads that get clicked on like crazy. You can think of your bidding kind of like a seesaw, where you're trying to balance between getting a discount on your clicks and getting scale. So if you get to a point where, let's say your budget is $5,000 for the month and you're at low bids, and your boss comes to you and goes, you did great with that 5,000, let's double it, let's take it to 10,000. The very first thing that you want to do is go and raise your bids. You're going to change that scale from getting a large discount and not having very much volume. You want to change that. You want to get more volume. It means you're going to pay more. You're getting less of a discount on your clicks, but that's okay. That's the price you pay for volume. So you might ask about the other objectives. What if I'm doing video views? Well, the exact same rules apply. Start out by bidding the lowest possible amount for something, like let's say it's video views. Let's say it tells you that your minimum is 6 cents per 2-second view. Bid the minimum, see how many views you get, see how much traffic you get, see how much you spend. Again, if you can spend your entire budget there, great. Keep your bids right where they are. If you need to spend more, increase incrementally. So that's bidding on LinkedIn, guys. You don't have to make it any harder than it is. It's actually very simple. I'm AJ Wilcox. I'm the founder of B2Linked.com, and we're an ad agency that literally LinkedIn ads is all we do. If you're interested in potentially working with us, come head to the website and fill out the form on any of the pages and you'll come right to my inbox. Hit the subscribe button and make sure you ring that bell. That way you're being notified every time we come out with new awesome LinkedIn ads content that'll help you with every campaign you're running along the way.